Hello, Year 6, and welcome to your Year 6 English lesson. This is lesson number 9. It is our 4th lesson this week, where our job is to retell the story of cloud busting as a short narrative. Let's get started. As always, before we begin, you will need a pen or pencil, as well as your home learning book or a piece of paper to write on. If you don't have these things, please pause the video here and come back when you have everything that you need. All right, let's go. Today is the day where you will be writing an extended piece of writing. All week, we have been building up ideas to help us with our writing. Remember that your task is to write a short retell of our class text, Cloud Busting. Now, Year 6, there are a lot of parts to the story Cloud Busting. So, as the author today, you will need to choose the most important parts of the story and decide how to engage your reader in your retell. Let's take a look at a model text and refresh our memory about the features we learned this week. Take a moment here and try to remember the 3 features we have learned this week. Great job! Our first feature this week was using colons to join 2 main clauses when the second main clause explained the first. Our second feature this week was using direct speech, properly punctuated, to move our narrative forward. And our final feature this week was using cohesive devices, including repetition and ellipses, to create cohesion. On your screen, you will see a few numbers. I will read this model text to you. What I want you to do is figure out which feature is labeled by each number. Listen and figure out the features. By all accounts, it was a normal Wednesday in Class B. The same pupils sat in the same room in the same chairs, listening to the same teacher teach the same lessons as every other day. It was normal, that is, until a tattered, nervous-looking boy shuffled into the doorway and sheepishly knocked on the door. "Excuse me, sir. My name is Dave. I'm new and was told I'm in your class." 30 heads shot up and 60 eyes landed on the boy at the door. One especially dark and angry set of eyes at the back of the room belonged to Sam, the class bully. He smiled, an evil, knowing smile. He had just laid eyes on his newest victim. All right, let's take a moment. Which feature is shown by number 1? Great job! Number 1 is our colons to join 2 main clauses when the second clause explains the first. Which feature is shown by the number 2? Well done! That's our direct speech to move our narrative forward. Which feature is shown by number 3? Yes, well done. That is our repetition to create cohesion. And finally, which feature is shown by number 4? Great job. That is our ellipsis to create cohesion. Our learning objective today is to use a variety of techniques to write a short narrative. Please take a moment here and write down your learning objective. Remember, you need to insert the word use here because I forgot it. LO, to use a variety of techniques to write a short narrative. Pause the video here and write that down. All right, let's go. We're going to quickly review all 3 features that we learned this week. Then you will take approximately 40 minutes to write your story. Let's get going. A colon is used to separate 2 main clauses when the second explains the first. Your turn. Great job. In our example, the first main clause says, by all accounts, it was a normal Wednesday in Class B. How was it normal? Well, the second clause explains how it was normal. The same pupils sat in the same room in the same chairs, listening to the same teacher teach the same lessons as every other day. We have two main clauses. Our second explains the first, so we can join them with a colon. Let's look at this example. I'd like you to insert the colon to separate the main clauses. Number 1. He smiled an evil, knowing smile. He had just laid eyes on his newest victim. Take a moment. Where should the colon go in this example? Well done. It should go after the word smile. Fantastic. And number 2, listen while I read. As Mrs. Spencer droned on and on, the eyes of the students facing her glossed over. Everyone had fallen asleep with their eyes open. Take a moment and decide, where should the colon go here? Well done. If you said the colon should go after the word over, you are correct. As Mrs. Spencer droned on and on, the eyes of the students facing her glossed over. Colon. Everyone had fallen asleep with their eyes open. Well done. Now let's revise our understanding of direct speech. My turn. Direct speech is used to show the exact words someone has said. Your turn. Well done. Let's read this piece of direct speech. Horrified, Sam replied. Mrs. Youngston? Dave's mum? Let's remember year 6. What was said? Mrs. Youngston? Dave's mum? And who said it? Sam. Well done. Use this slide throughout your writing today if you need just a little bit of help with punctuating your direct speech. Remember, if the reporting clause comes first, I have a comma after the reporting clause. My speech marks to show the beginning of the direct speech. A capital letter to show the beginning of the direct speech. And speech marks at the end. Remember, if the reporting clause comes last, I still start with my inverted commas and my capital letter. I still have punctuation and my inverted commas at the end. But I also have my reporting clause, which does not start with a capital letter. And if my reporting clause is in the middle, I start with my inverted commas. I have punctuation at the end of the direct speech, as well as my inverted commas. Then comes my reporting clause, no capital letter, then a comma, and my other set of inverted commas. Well done. Let's remember the purpose of direct speech. Direct speech is used to move the story forward. Your turn. Great job. Remember, this means that your direct speech in your writing should have a purpose. It should give the reader more information about a situation or a character, and it should set the scene or create cohesion for what comes next. What is the purpose of this piece of direct speech? Sam, I told Miss Youngston that you'd walk with her son to school tomorrow. Sam's mum nonchalantly told him. Is the purpose to give the reader more information, or is it to set the scene and create cohesion? Pause the video here and have a think. Great job. I hope you said that this direct speech sets the scene for what happens next. As the reader, I know that something that will happen next will be Sam and Davy walking to school together. And finally, let's talk about our third feature this week. Let's remember cohesion. Your turn. Well done. We are creating cohesion using repetition and ellipsis. Remember, repetition is repeating an important phrase. It's used to emphasize or show your reader how important this word or phrase is. An ellipsis is used to create tension or to signal the trailing off of a thought. Both of these uses of an ellipsis help your reader better understand your writing. I want you to identify and explore cohesion on this page. First, I'd like you to identify the repeated phrase and think, why is it repeated? Pause the video here, read the writing, and decide, what is the repeated phrase? Well done. If you said the repeating phrase is that Davy had changed, you are correct. The author has decided to repeat this phrase to emphasize or draw attention to the fact that things had changed. The incident with the sandwich changed everything, and that's a very important part of the end of our story. Now I want you to explore this example. Where could I put an ellipsis, and what is its purpose? Pause the video here and have a think, and come back when you're ready to share your ideas. Well done. I think an ellipsis could come at the end of the first paragraph, where it says, but Davy had changed, ... This helps my reader to understand that what comes next will be more discussion and more explanation of how Davy had changed. Remember that your learning objective today is to use a variety of techniques to write a short narrative. Year 6, let's do one final example before we move on to our writing. Please pause the video here, read the text, and decide what has been done to make this text engaging for the reader. Great job. What has been done? Well, I have joined two main clauses where the second explains the first, using a colon. I've also used direct speech to explain or show me something about a character. In this situation, what a dork shows me how rude and mean Alex can be. And finally, I've created cohesion using repetition and ellipses. Well done. Now it's your turn, Year 6. It's time for you to do your writing. Before we actually start writing, we need to do what good authors do, and we must plan our short retell. I'd like you to take 5 minutes and think about and plan your writing. Jot down a list of 7 to 8 of the most important parts of cloudbusting that you would like to include in your writing. Include 1 or 2 points in the beginning, 3 or 4 points in the middle, and 1 or 2 points for the end. Pause the video here and return when you've completed your plan. If you need a bit of help with your plan, you can use this page to help you. All right, off you go and write your plan. All right, you're back. Well done. I'm sure your plans are awesome. Now it's the moment you've all been waiting for, Year 6. It's time to do your writing. You will use your plan to write your short retell. Make sure that you have a clear beginning, middle, and end of your story. Make sure that when you use direct speech, you are using it for a purpose, and you're not using it too much, only to move the story forward. And remember to use a variety of strategies to create cohesion and help your writing flow. If you need a bit of support in your writing, Use this page to help you. I've given you an example paragraph for your beginning, an example for your build-up, and an example for your climax. You may use my ideas and magpie any parts that you would like to use in your writing. If you feel confident, it's your turn. Off you go. Remember, please spend approximately 40 minutes writing your retell. Well done today, Year 6, and I will see you again tomorrow.